Hi everyone, my name is Hannah Milburn again. I'm here to do my Unit 1 project. I chose to do a transformation of something. A couple of the concepts that I focused on majorly during the process. The first one I focused on was energetic loading, and that's basically what you put into it is what you get out of it. The personal load for me is the individual practice, and for me I had no practice for what I was doing. I'm not a very artistic person. Usually, I do some crafts, but not very much. So this was definitely practice for me. I got a lot out of it, and I put a lot into it. So the outcome was a good one, in my opinion. The material load was little to none. The materials that I used were simple things that I had from home. I did have to purchase a glue gun, which I ended up not using because I changed my mind. So everything that I used in my project was from home or things that I had found. Energy loading is definitely practiced. And in the PowerPoint I heard or read that the time is invested in the artist, and that will make that depends on the outcome of the project. So if me versus a master artist were both given the same assignment, then we're going to have two different outcomes because the master artist has had so much more practice than I have, so much more technique. The second concept that I focused on was transformation, which was the main point of this project. The transformation is just a process. There is the Greek word techne, and it's the root word for technology, which broadly means art. And that's the Greek word. Transformation means changing relationships, and a relationship is defined as a connection between an object and an idea. So the transformation that I had was I turned something that had a specific purpose into something else with a different purpose without changing or destroying the object. So the object is still there, or pieces of it at least. One of the other things that I liked from the lecture and noticed during my project was the limitations and what they mean and how they let us do or guide us to what we chose for our project and things that we do in our everyday life. The project really had very little limitations other than not destroying the whole object, which made it very hard to pinpoint a certain thing to transform. Usually limitations encourage creativity, and in the PowerPoint there was a quote that limitations produce creative freedom out of the paralysis of chaos, and I really enjoyed that quote. I felt it had a really deep meaning, because if our world had no limitations, there would be no organization and things would just get really crazy. So limitations are definitely a good thing. So my creation, I made this. Every single one of these is a page out of a book that I had laying around the house that I wasn't going to read again. And my main purpose was to make it look like a flower, which didn't really turn out to be a flower, but from far away it kind of looks like one. So what I did was I just cut out a circular piece of cardboard, and I tore out the pages, made them into cones, and I stapled them and glued them on there so that they would all fit. It took me about 3 hours to make it look right and look how it did in my head. The relevance to this is that there's still a book here. There's, about 150 pages of the book still right here, just in a different layout, I guess you could say. So I said it took me about 3 hours. I had been thinking about it about a week prior to today, and the reason I actually got this idea, I had all these books that I was getting rid of, and I wasn't sure what to do with them. I didn't just want to throw them away. I was going to donate them, and then when I read what we had to do for a project about a transformation, I wanted to do something with the books, and I really wanted to do something with the pages, but no ideas were coming to mind. So I my husband and I were actually looking through some Christmas pictures from a few years ago, and there were we were at the Bellagio, and they had a bunch of flower pom-poms they were made of real flowers at the observatory there. And I saw that, and I actually just the idea kind of came to me. That's why it was originally supposed to look like a flower, but it didn't. Still turned out pretty good. In conclusion, I really learned a lot from this project. It showed that creativity and practice and all that will get you an end result that you had hopefully been anticipating, and that limitations are good and they guide us and they help us make right decisions and sure decisions so that we're not second guessing ourselves. And the energetic letting the time that it takes. When I first thought about it, I didn't expect it to take me 3 hours, but it did, and I think it came out well, and I would definitely do it again. If I had to do it again, I would make these a little bit in the center. I'd make them a little bit shorter so that it would turn out more like a flower. I think that's where I went wrong. I kept them all the same length. And maybe I would use my hot glue gun, because I ended up just using tape and glue instead of hot glue gun, which made it, I had to wait for it to dry for a long time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and there's my project.